Hey, welcome back. I am Prashant from Make Marketer. In this lesson 12, we learn about the importance of using UTM tags and the importance of tagging in the URL or tagging URL when it comes to using analytics. Now, tagging is very important because what gets tagged gets tracked. If you don't tag your URL properly, there is absolute chance that your report gets messed up or you don't find accurate data. And if you're running your campaigns in multiple channels like Google and Facebook, remember, you got to have as much of data as possible, as accurately as possible, and that is possible when you can tag your URLs properly. And to tag these URLs, we'll discuss about Campaign URL Builder. And when you talk about these UTM tags, maybe you can use 5 query parameters in these UTM tags in the URL. The first one is we'll discuss about UTM Campaign, UTM source medium, UTM term, UTM content, and you learn about many other things and the importance of using these things in the URL. Now, in my other videos which are correlated to these videos on YouTube channel, you can go watch my tag manager tutorial where we learn about how to capture these UTM parameters in a variable and then use them in a tag and trigger in Google Tag Manager. We will not learn about these things, but extensively I want to talk about UTM tags because before you even learn about behavior reports or conversion reports or acquisition report, you have to have these basic foundations of understanding how UTM tags work and how do you use these things in a way which works better for you, so you can kind of analyze your reports properly and get more insights from your report. So join me as I take you through the account and I take you through the interface where you can go and build UTM tags. Remember guys, it is very important for any digital marketer to understand this first thing: what gets tagged gets tracked. If you don't tag your URLs properly, there is an absolute risk that your reports gets messed up and your traffic may be reported in other segment, or your traffic may be reported by analytics as direct traffic. To stop all these things, you have to learn about UTM tags. So join me in my video where we do some extensive study on using UTM tags and the spreadsheets that you can use for implementing these tagging.
One of the most important reports in analytics is acquisition reports. If you come to analytics, you come to acquisition, in the all traffic channels, you'll find these reports, right? So there are default channel groupings that are available in analytics. If you want to know more about default channels, watch my next video. I'm going to extensively speak about how Google, defines each channel and what kind of rules that Google has if they have to source a particular traffic into particular bucket. I would talk about that extensively in my next video, but this video is particularly dedicated to UTM tags. See, UTM tags are a way for Google Analytics to define where that traffic would be bucketed, right? Now, when you talk about UTM tags, first thing you have to know is UTM means Urchin Tracking Module. And whenever as an advertiser you're running campaigns, it is always recommended that you use UTM tags. So much so, remember guys, if you're a digital marketer, the first thing that you must know is to tag every inbound link. Every inbound link has to be tagged, because if you don't tag your links properly, what will happen is there's always a risk of your traffic getting bucketed to other channels or the other source medium, or most of the times what happens is the traffic that is not tagged properly will end up going into the other channel. I would talk about that. For example, if I go take last, I am into the Google Merchandise Store account. Oh, I'm sorry. I am into one of my clients' account that we used to run. So they're default channels, right? So a lot of times what happens is I have audited a lot of analytics accounts, and what I see is most of the traffic, because they don't tag properly, it goes and categorizes itself into the other bucket, which is not good. In fact, it is a crime that you don't tag URLs properly, or if you don't tag it at all. That's why it's important that you tag your URLs. Now, based on how you tag your URLs, Google Analytics will understand and say, hey, this guy is using UTM tag facebook.com. So let me put them under social channel. If a person is coming from Medium CPC, Google says, hey, this guy is coming to my website using Medium CPC. So this guy has to be bucketed into the channel paid search, right? I would talk about these things in my next video, but remember, UTM tags are very important, and there are certain things that you should never do when you're using UTM tags. It is kind of criminal to use UTM tags in the internal URLs, because what happens is whenever a user comes to my site, for example, if somebody goes to google.com and search something and end up coming to my site, what will happen is Google Analytics will record that as if a person is coming from google.com, and this guy will be bucketed as if he's coming from Google Organic. If he's coming from paid, it will be bucketed to paid search channel. But but when people come to my site, Google will still keep that referrer, right? So what happens is whenever people come to my site, Google first what they want to do is they want to track the source and medium. This is the first thing that Google wants to do, and then they go and check if he's a returning user or a new user, right? And if he's a returning user, all the sessions will be attributed to that person because he's a returning one. If he is coming for the first time, then Google will check and say increment the new user count. So remember guys, the first thing that Google checks is source and medium, and you can pass that into analytics using UTM tags. If you don't tag your URLs properly also, or if you don't tag them, what will happen is analytics will by default recognize them by going to something called document.referer. If you know what is document.referer, what you can do is you can open any website and open the console. In the console, type in document.referer, and that document.referer will give you the output as to what referrer referred this person to that particular page. So if a person is coming to my site from google.com, the referrer on my home page, this is the landing page, will tell analytics that this guy is coming from google.com. So document.referrer will be google.com. So again, there's certain thing that you must do: tag your URLs properly, and there are 5 tags that you must implement. So you want to know more about that, what you can do is you can go to google.com and type in URL campaign builder. Type in URL campaign builder or campaign URL builder, you'll get to this URL. Here what you can do is you open this URL and you can go and type it. For example, my website is https this is my website URL. So if, for example, if I say, hey, this guy is coming to my website from facebook.com, so I will give my source as facebook.com. Now remember, what is source? The origin of the traffic is called source, and the medium is the way in which is coming to my site. For example, if the source is google.com, the medium can be paid or organic. If it is CPC, Google will categorize them under paid search. If the user is coming from Google and the medium is organic, Google will categorize them as organic channel. I will talk about this in my next video. Like I said, please continue to watch this video in detail. You'll really understand how important UTM tags. Now what I'll do is here I'll give medium as social. So these are the UTM tags. Remember guys, UTM underscore source, which is campaign source, UTM underscore medium, which is medium, UTM underscore campaign, which is the campaign name. If, for example, remember guys, if you're running one campaign, for example, I am running a summer sale campaign, and this campaign I'm running across multiple platforms. I'm running my ads on google.com, I'm running my ads on Facebook, I'm running my ads on Twitter, I'm running my ads on Quora. But all these campaigns that I'm running on different marketing platforms again come from same campaign. So what I can do is I can use different UTM sources, UTM mediums, but I can keep the UTM campaign name same, because I know that all this traffic that is coming from different marketing platforms are coming as part of the same campaign name. So I would keep the campaign name. That is why it's always recommended that you keep the campaign name similar, right? The campaign name same across all marketing platforms, as long as you're running campaigns, driving traffic to your site for that particular purpose. Right, so keep the campaign name same. I will also take you through the 2025 question that people generally ask about when they come to UTM tags. Right, so this is the URL. What you can do is you can use this URL and put it in your final URLs if you're running your campaigns or your destination URL. So when people come to my website using UTM source facebook.com, Facebook will attribute this traffic as if it's coming from social network, and when he sees medium social, it says, hey, this traffic has to be attributed to channel social. Now we'll also go and check something. This is again one of the most loved tools. There's something called Express UTM Builder. Oh, wait. Yeah, UTM Builder, Express UTM Builder. Right. So if you're working with big agency, what happens is there are multiple teams working in multiple departments. For example, there's one team who specifically deals with remarketing campaigns. There are certain teams who only deal with display campaigns. There are certain teams who work on search campaigns, right? And they have different campaigns serving different objectives. So what they want is they want their employees to use tagging properly. Any misuse of tags, right, it kind of messes the entire data. Your data, rather than going into this bucket, will go into some other bucket. You'll not be able to analyze the performance of a particular campaign, because part of that traffic which has to be attributed to this campaign will go and sit into other campaign. And that is why it's the crime. It is criminal to not use UTM tags properly and or use incorrect UTM tags. So what companies do is they take this account called Express UTM Builder. What they do is they create an account and they put all the tags that they want their employees to be using. For example, department remarketing should use UTM sources, whatever source, medium as remarketing, in case you wanted to put that as remarketing. So what they can do is they can predefine those tags, and they'll ask their employees to use UTM Express Builder extension, and they ask them to log in. And what the company does is, to their email address, they give access. So my employee is working on remarketing campaigns, and when they use this extension, which is Express UTM Builder, they'll only be able to find those tags which I want him to use, because there is simply no way, no excuse for anybody to tag URLs inaccurately or not tag them at all. It is criminal, right? So what companies do is they use this extensively, so they can be rest assured that their employees are not going to write something on their own, and they'll only use those tags which were given access to. Now second, when you talk about UTM tags, guys, remember these UTM tags are case sensitive. You can't write, for example, facebook.com is different from facebook.com, or example, if a traffic is coming from Google, you can say G is small, this will be grouped into one bucket, but if you tag them inaccurately and by writing G capital, that will be bucketed to another bucket. So remember guys, UTM tags are all case sensitive, and it's always appreciated that you can use UTM tags in lowercase. Right now, what we will do is we will just go through and discuss whatever we discuss. Remember, tagging is very important, and the first thing that you must know is every inbound link has to be tagged, right? It's a sign of matured advertiser. Second is, don't tag your inbound don't tag your internal links, because that will manipulate your data and your data will go mad, messy. Never do that. It is crime to tag your internal links, because it will override the original referrer information, right guys? So please make sure that you don't change the internal tags and put UTM tags there. Now third one is, they're case sensitive, right? And fourth thing, you also have to study, right? A lot of people talk to me when I do consulting for a lot of advertisers. What they do is, they use UTM tags in Google ads. When you're running Google ads, they use UTM tags. Guys, again, it is not recommended, because Google themselves say it is not recommended that you use UTM tags for Google ads. All you have to do is enable auto tagging in Google ads, and when you enable auto tagging in Google ads, what will Google do? Google will simply add a GCLID parameter, to the final URL. And this GCLID parameter, what it does is, it will share the information to analytics, and all you have to do is link your AdWords account to analytics, and all the data that you have in AdWords will flow into analytics, including the campaign names. But a lot of people, what they do is, they use UTM tags, but when I ask them why are you using, they have no idea. I asked them, why did you not go with auto tagging? They have no idea. They were simply reading some articles here and there, and with small knowledge, little knowledge, they try and do this stuff, and all that campaign data will go and sit into custom campaigns. That's why, remember guys, it's never recommended. Google never recommends you to use UTM tags. In case you want to use it, but make sure that you don't manipulate the original Google's data, which is the UTM source has got to be Google, and if it is search campaigns, the CPC, which is medium, have got to be CPC, and the campaign name should be the same campaign name like you put in Google ads. The term should be same that you put in Google ads, and in case you wanted to write something else, you can do that. Now remember, UTM tags are one kind of query parameters. Now when I talk about query parameter, guys, remember, when I talk about query parameters, remember, UTM tags are one kind of query parameters. Now, what is query parameter? What starts after question mark? That's why exactly, when you see the URL which is tagged properly, you have a question mark, because browser is trained to understand that whatever comes after question mark is not the actual resource URL. It is only for tracking purposes. And when you talk about UTM, I said it's a query parameter, right? So what is query parameter? Query parameter is nothing but key value pairs. Key is equal to value pairs. And it's not recommended that you only have to use UTM tags, right? If you use UTM tags, Google Analytics will be able to understand. For example, my site is, if I use this makemarket.com/question mark, if I say visitor is equal to sale campaign, just imagine I'm writing like this, right? This is also one query parameter similar to UTM parameters, but what's the difference? UTM tags can be read and understood by Google Analytics. So when you use Google UTM tags, Analytics will be able to read them, and if you use tags properly, they'll be attributed properly to those channels which are default custom channels in Analytics, or the custom channels that you create in Analytics. But don't just restrict yourself to UTM parameters. You can use other parameters as well, like visitor is equal to homepage. But the problem is, Analytics do not know where this traffic should be bucketed. So ideally, they depend on the document.referer and other informations which I'm going to speak in my next video, right? So and again, remember guys, how many UTM tags can I use in my URL? You can use multiple UTM tags. Prashant, UTM tags are only 5, right? You can use all of them. All you have to do is use an ampersand between each one of them. Now come back to Google Analytics. Sorry, you come back to campaign URL builder. I'm using campaign source, campaign medium. Imagine my campaigns is summer sale. You see, all of them are stitched together with the word ampersand, with the letter ampersand. So you can use all of them. There's no question. There's no doubt about that. They can only use 3, 4. No, you can use all 5, 6 UTM tags. And if you want to use your own custom tags, you can do that. Custom UTM parameters, like for example, you visitor is equal to sales and campaign. But only difference is Alex will not be able to bucket this properly, right? There's always a chance that this traffic, if there's no referral information, this might be bucketed into other. So that's why you have to be very, very careful. Now, let's go and discuss about some questions that people generally ask. Okay, guys, I forgot. I was talking about auto tagging where Google adds GCL ID parameter. So it is never recommended that you use UTM tags in Google Ads, right? But if you use them, what you have to do is you have to come to analytics. You have to come to analytics. In the analytics, if you come to property settings, in the property settings, you have a small option where you have to go and enable this. Allow manual UTM values to override the GCL ID. But you don't do it unless it is required from you, right? Unless you want to track some extra information by passing, UTM tags, then only do that. But other than that, I think GCL ID will do most of the work for you. Not required, right? Now, question: what should be the values? Remember, campaign name is the campaign name for which you are driving traffic. For example, if I'm running a summer sale, so it has to be summer sale and it has to be same. So first, decide on a proper name. Source: the origin of the traffic, where the traffic is coming from. Medium: the type in which you're getting that traffic. If it is paid, you put paid. If it is CPC, Google Ads, you put CPC. If it is paid social, you put paid social, right? How can I find custom campaign in analytics? Good question. If you want to find custom campaigns, what you can do is you can come here and you come to acquisition reports. Here you have campaigns. In these all campaigns, you find the campaigns whatever you have used in the UTM tags, right? How do I make sure UTM tags are working properly? That is why never directly assume that your UTM tags are perfect. It is always recommended that you use UTM tags and then go to analytics and check the real-time reports to see if they are properly attributed or properly collected by analytics, right? Why are my UTM parameters not working parameter? That's why you cannot use or you cannot change their names. For example, UTM underscore source is equal to, if you put UTM hyphen source, there might be a problem. That's why use properly. And again, remember UTM, it's not U capital, it's all small letters, right? 301, 302 direct strip UTM tags, of course, yes. So if you're bringing traffic to one page and that page redirects after going to the final page, the data will not be transferred from this page to other page, but you have but you can try and recapture and store them in cookies, or you can pass them to other pages by using GTM. So I will speak extensively about that in our bootcamp. Remember guys, if you're interested to learn digital marketing at a very high end level, you can go watch our videos, or you can join our digital marketing immersive bootcamp. It's a very, very high end program, right guys? People say 301, 302 redirects will drop the UTM tags. No, there's a way to hold them and pass them to other pages as well, right? So can I use UTM tagging while I've got another query parameter? Yes, I said you can use ampersand and you can tie all of them together. How important is the order of UTM parameters in a URL? No, absolutely no. You can put wherever you want. First you can put campaign, then put source, then put medium, then put ad content, whatever you want, right? Is there a way to generate UTM tags? Yes. Now the UTM tags form that contains anchor, yes, you can use it. All you have to do is there's a small option in analytics, or if you're implementing analytics through GTM, you can go and set allow anchor true, allow anchor, and you can type in true there, right? Should I tag internal linking? No, it's a crime. It's criminal to tag internal links with UTM tags. When visitor move from blog.example.com to example.com, should I use UTM tags? No, I told you it is not recommended that you use internal tagging or internal links with UTM tags, right? So now for this, what you have to do is you have to implement something called subdomain tracking. But even though for subdomain tracking, you have to make sure that both the domains have the same analytics code. And because they would be treated as one property, you cannot use UTM tags when people are moving from your subdomain to main domain. That will manipulate and mess your data. Be careful. All 5 required? No, not required. But Google says UTM underscore source is the mandatory one. Rest of them, if you want, you can keep them, or if you don't want, you can still ignore them. But if you give all of them, your data becomes more accurate, and the analysis of that data will also be Good. Is it good idea to add UTM codes on other websites, URLs? No, I don't say it is recommended. What you do is, see, for example, I'll give you my answer. I write a lot of answers on Quora. So a lot of traffic comes to my website from Quora, but I want to understand which answer gets me a lot of traffic. I don't have to do that. I just have to go to analytics and type in and add a secondary dimension called full referral, and this full referral will tell me the actual the answer that is driving traffic to my page. When I'm running ads on Quora, all my ads on Quora are tagged. But if people come to my website after reading my answers on Quora, I don't use UTM tags for the answers and the links that I put on those answers, because I just have to go add a secondary dimension full referral. This will tell me exactly which traffic is coming from Quora. That means I will add a channel as Quora, and only for that channel Quora, channel social or the source Quora, and I will add secondary dimension which is full referral, so I get to see the answers that are driving traffic to my website from Quora. Is it possible to hide analytics? Yes, you can do that through GTM. Yes, you can do that through GTM. Right, this is one of the most advanced topics. This is particularly used when you're driving traffic from newspaper. For example, if I put an ad on newspaper, I want to know how many people who read that newspaper and come to my site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a fragment in that newspaper, and whoever comes to my website by using that fragment in the URL, I would be able to manipulate the data through GTM and send them to analytics saying these people are coming from Hindu newspaper and it was a newspaper campaign. Right, I can hide it, and I can make analytics read that as well through fragments. Now, will all tag links be tracked in GTA without any additional setup? Yes, provided you're using GTM tags. If you don't use UTM tags, if you don't use UTM tags, analytics will not be able to understand as to what he wrote. It's of course a key value pair, but analytics doesn't understand whatever name, whatever value you give. UTM tracking, Google understands because they're trained already. Do I need to make sure that UTM parameter is present at the end of the session, even on the confirmation page? Not required. Analytics is smart enough, intelligent enough to keep that in their memory. Right? Example, if you come to my site from UTM source google.com, medium CPC, you come to my landing page, and from landing page you go to my thank you page. Now when you go to thank you page, my landing page will be the referrer, but analytics is not so tricky that they will override the original source. No, they keep the source like that. For that, you have to understand my first video. In my first video in analytics, I spoke extensively about session. You have to read about session, because both of them are connected. Because if the referrer changes, Google initiates a new session. So you can go connect to that video. You'll understand a lot of other information. Where can I find data from UTM content, UTM term in analytics? Right, you can find the same thing. You can go to Google Analytics and you can find them. UTM term, it's more about the keywords. You can go to keywords in analytics, you can find. Should I use CPC as a medium when tagging social media campaigns? Never do that. Never. If you put CPC as a medium for social media campaigns, all this traffic will be bucketed to paid search, because Google has rules for default channel grouping that says if I find medium, which is CPC, I would bucket all that traffic into paid search channel. So be careful. How do I set up UTM parameters for social media? Generally, what I would recommend is, if you're using, source should always be the name of the website. If it's Quora.com, if it is Quicker.com, if it is Instagram.com, and the medium you can put it as paid social if it is paid campaigns, or else rather you just leave it. Analytics is smart enough to categorize the bucket. In case you still wanted to use UTM tags, you can use social, not paid social. Why are some of my social media campaigns not reported under social media channel analytics? Because you might have tagged them incorrectly, or you have to understand about channels. See, Google will put the traffic coming from social channels as social when Google finds something called social source referral is yes. When social source referral is yes, and social source referral will be put to yes when Google identifies that this person is coming from a known or reputed social network site, and that traffic will be automatically bucketed and categorized under channel social. Right. What's the best way to maintain organized tag URLs? You can keep a spreadsheet, or I gave you the example of Express UTM Builder. Most of the companies work on big campaigns, thousands of campaigns, a lot of employees, so they don't want mistagging. So they use this. You can go and check this one very good, tool. How do I generate UTM tags? You have Campaign URL Builder, or you can go to Express UTM Builder. Does Google take UTM parameters into consideration when crawling the web? Yes, at times. Yes. I've seen cases. Yes. Should I use a trailing slash? Yes. Else browser will not be able to understand. Browser thinks it's an incomplete URL. right? It kind of understands whatever is after question mark is only for tracking purpose. So make sure that you put question mark. If you don't put that, what will happen is your link will break. That means the system, the server will throw a 404 error. Are UTM? Yes, they are case sensitive, guys. Why are UTM codes? Because it was owned by Archin, right? Earlier, Google Analytics, before Google Analytics acquired Archin, they still have the same name, so it's still going with the same name, Archin tracking module, right? Does UTM tagging work if only one UTM parameter? See, when you put only UTM medium and you don't give the source, there's every possibility that Google will put such traffic into other. So be careful. Or Google will put not set. And whenever you find not set in both, Google might put that in the other channel. Remember, do I need Google Tag install for UTM tags? Not required. Analytics is smart enough to do that. See, Tag Manager is just a tag management solution. You don't have to put too many tags in the site. You can put only one tag, and this tag will do the work for you, right? You can manage all the tags and the conditions and whatever information you want to pass to analytics. You can do that through Tag Manager. Should I use UTM parameter when tracking Google Ads campaigns? I would appreciate not to do that, but in case there is a need, do that, but please don't change the original values. Will using both Google AdWords auto tagging and manual tagging with UTM variables create a blocking problem? Yes, it has been reported that there might be problems, or you most often run into problems. So that's why Google says not to do that. So you can go with normal, GCL ID, which is auto tagging. Guys, this is only for experienced people, right? If you don't understand, what you can do is you can take these questions, right? You can take a screenshot. I've got this from internet as well, so I wanted to share it with my audience so you can really learn. See, UTM tags are very important. Without this, you cannot become a digital marketer, because tagging is one of the most important things that Google considers to understand which traffic should go into which bucket. Acquisition reports are one of the most important reports, and you would mess up the entire acquisition report if you don't understand UTM tags. Right? If you want to know more about these kind of subjects, you want to learn these kind of subjects in detail, practically, you can check our bootcamp, India's first digital marketing bootcamp, most high-end digital marketing program in the country. I don't think there's any program in the country that even comes close. It's not a typical institute 1-2 hour. It's a 7-hour program every day, and it's only for special people. We are very, very selective with our intake. You can know more about this information by going to our website, which is makemarketer.com. And also, guys, please subscribe to this channel. See, I don't like to tell you to subscribe. If you think this content is good enough, that you learn something from this, please do subscribe. There's hell lot of information in this channel, and I'm going to produce some extraordinary content in future as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the love that you've shared with us, comments, and thank you. I would see you with my next video. Until then, see you.
Thank you so much for watching the entire video. Remember, tagging is very important. Google Analytics will not be able to attribute the conversion if Google Analytics is not able to correctly identify the source and medium of that traffic. So it is very, very important for somebody who is doing a multi-channel marketing campaigns or running your campaigns across several marketing platforms to use this tagging properly, so that analytics will have a proper path that can be created to attribute the conversions and assign conversions and assisted conversions in the right way. Thank you so much, and watch the other videos in this channel. Next video is going to be more interesting. We'll talk about acquisition reports, and this is one report that I really love, which is very close to my heart, and I would take you through completely so you understand acquisition reports in great detail. Also, not to forget, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Also hit on the notification bell icon below so you'd be notified every time we post a new video on our channel. Thank you so much. I will see you with another video.